Welcome to a special grief and potluck podcast. We are in the month of December 2020. Hurrah! We have made it. I would say drum roll, please, but that's going to be for New Year's Eve. Oh, I'm a rhymer. So, hopefully, you can see this cute little slideshow that I've attempted. Technology. It's a joy. It's a treasure. So, as stated, special grief and potluck podcast for a few reasons. One, I feel better. Hurrah! And so my voice is back and we're back to it. And secondly, the title of the magazine, www.celebrations of Life magazine, does hold the moniker that we are making the end of life a celebration, creating safe conversations around death and dying. And this podcast is in addition to said website. Well, I have to say, we're all humans, yes. We all have souls, yes. Some of us live our lives differently than others. Some of us are able to forge our own path a little easier than others. Some of us have to work really hard and go to the grindstone. And some of us, it's nothing to do what we do and how we do it. So, that said, I want to share with you a situation recently. The name shall be saved and changed for the innocent. So recently in the world at large, there has been a death, and unfortunately, like the old saying goes, they could end up dead in a ditch somewhere someday. Yeah. Yeah. So that has happened. There has been a person who has died, who has ended up, sadly, dead in a ditch. And I don't say this to say the expression. It's just a fact of, unfortunately, how they died. So, previous podcast I did regarding watching out for the holidays, dealing with the holidays. There's a title out there. You'll see it on the YouTube channel for this. Um, dealing with the holidays is difficult, and more so probably than obviously the Great Depression. Obviously, when the stock market crashed, apologies, I'm not sure what year that was right off the top of my noggin. But it's hard to talk about death. I get it. It's hard to deal with death. I get it. Grief is not easy. It's not easy for various reasons for various people. So, to end up dead in a ditch, does anybody deserve that? No. No, nobody does. Honestly, nobody deserves to end up dead in a ditch. So again, I am sad that this has happened to someone, and someone I actually know, which makes it a little more difficult to talk about, but it's okay. We got to talk about it. We've got to talk about these things. It's okay to talk about this. So I'll refer back to, I'll go back a couple weeks, no, maybe a couple months. So this person, just to narrow it down, is a male. And so this person has been looking to fill his void because his wife died about 2 odd years ago. Maybe 3 now, since 2020 is almost over. So roughly 2.5 years. So this person's wife died 2.5 years ago. They came into our life as a result of that death. And we're kind of taken in for reasons that they needed assistance, needed some help, needed shelter, etc. This person does have some children, but they honestly didn't have a good relationship with their children because of their life choices. Not to make too much of it, but their life choices did revolve around a lot of drinking, and therefore, I guess, in that first marriage situation, things weren't working out, separation, divorce, etc. So that's years and years and years ago now. But a few months, I'm sorry, 2.5 odd years ago, said male person came into our lives, and we took him in. Did what we could in the immediate, you know, um, assisted and made sure that they were fed and that their Social Security was dealt with. They're elderly. So just relative things, just try to help somebody out, get them going back on their feet to a point of some, real basic comforts, essentially. Well, okay, so that happened. A year or so in to this new situation of being a widower, the person is now looking for, I'm going to call it love. So this person is doing what they can to find said love. Well, I hate to say that possibly this person thought that Craigslist might be the answer. Nothing against Craigslist. I have utilized its services for yard sales, etc. But for the purposes of finding love, I'm not going to say it's the best opportunity because unfortunately, shopping for roses, yeah, if you're familiar with Craigslist lingo, you know what I'm talking about. I won't go into too many details. But shopping for roses, etc., is kind of not worth it. Not worth it when you can buy toys now on Amazon, but I digress. So, needless to say, this person was looking for companionship, and unfortunately, some people looking back saying that they offer up their roses aren't exactly of a caliber of person that you would want to hang out with at your average day. So, unfortunately, this person, male widower, was lured into giving money to these lovely roses and kept getting teased, I'll come visit you. I'll come hang out with you. I'll come see you. But of course, never did. But of course, they still sent money. The widower still sent money to these quote unquote females, quote unquote princesses. Who knows? Who really knows? At the end of the day. But then, unfortunately, somebody more local found this widower. And unfortunately for this widower, they took real good advantage of him. They pretty much wrote him a check, asked if he could put it in his bank, asked if they could withdraw funds. Sadly, there was no money on said check, so therefore he got swindled out of a good $1,000. Now, that may seem like chump change to some people. It may seem like a week's worth of life to others. However, to this man, that literally was his paycheck. So he was out for an entire month of money. No money. Nothing. Broke. And so by the time the bank got onto this, of course, all the funds had been withdrawn and the people were long gone. And so, of course, his bank account was closed. The bank doesn't want to do business with him. Once again, we're having to fix the problem, as it were, because now where is these funds going to go? So, sadly, these funds for him were to go back into a hard check form. And now that this hard check form exists, and these quote unquote people who take advantage, they didn't completely disappear, in my personal opinion. And mind you, this is my personal opinion because speculation as to how he died is still up in the air as of this moment. But you don't just end up dead in a ditch, do you? So, this gentleman again found himself with money. However, at this point, he was supposed to hand over said check until his finances could be distributed properly. He could pay his bills properly again without having the bank account, because things come out automatically. So it's one less thing for him to worry about. But now with no bank account, just a solid check, and someone who's not completely in their right mind, in their elderly stages, and easily taken advantage of for their money, as the past has proven by these ladies or roses or whatever they are, wherever he found them. So, all that said, instead of taking the one small step that he was assigned to do, and that was to make sure that someone else held on to his money for a short time until things could be distributed properly, and then the rest would be given to him to deal with for groceries, etc. Unfortunately, he is found a week later after a single text to me. Hi, is this your number? Still here? Okay, fine. So by not just taking one simple step, by not waiting, by running to cash the check, to distribute said funds to whomever, wherever. Unfortunately, this person found himself dead in a ditch. My concern for those out there in the world of widow, widower, grieving family is do your best to find people that you can trust. I don't think you're going to find people you can trust that say that they're willing to share their roses. You know, we're all hard up at some point and need to earn money somehow. I get it. We're all looking for love if we don't have it at some point. But my prayer is that you find contentment with yourself, with your church family, with your immediate family, not just the random person that rolls in off the websites, off the beaten path, offering roses. Because who knows anymore, unfortunately, these days, who these people are, what their motives are. Trust your gut. Don't just look for roses. Don't just look for love. I don't want anyone else to come to this unfortunate end where for a few bucks you get taken advantage of. I mean, it could be 20 bucks, it could be $100, but in this case, a whole check, the whole income for the month. And where does he get? Where is he? He is no more. How he came to meet this end, I only hope and pray that it was a simple situation, that it was not the dark tragedy that I believe it to be. I pray for his happiness in the fact that if his life was taken from him unwillingly, the good Lord will give him peace. And I do hope for the sake that those that took his life, that somehow they will come to justice and karma will take her turn. But please, just be careful. Please be cautious. Not all intentions are good. 'Tis the season for giving. Give to the specific charities you know are legal. Give to the legal situations. If you know a family personally that's hurting, sure, do what you can, anonymously, not anonymously. But please don't fall for the roses. Please don't be taken in by false promises. If it seems too good to be true, it is. If it seems too pretty on the surface and something doesn't smell right, it's true. something doesn't smell right. And that's your gut. That's your instincts telling you to go away from it, run away from it, stay away from it. So again, I do sincerely hope that this holiday, December 2020, brings you joy, brings you peace, brings you happiness. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to Grief and Potluck podcast. Not all grief and potluck podcasts are sad, that's for sure. That's not my goal. I do hope you check out the website, www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com. And I sincerely thank you for your time. This is Ginger, signing off.